The noon sun poured down over the sparkling windshields at Northgate Auto Plaza, casting perfect reflections on the polished chrome hoods. It was a typical Thursday. Phones rang endlessly, paper contracts shuffled across desks, and engines roared every few minutes as potential buyers took test drives. The inside of the dealership smelled like leather and coffee, clean, corporate, and calculated. At 11:03 a.m., the glass door opened, and Danielle Harris walked in. She didn't fit the image this dealership was used to catering to. She wore a simple navy blue utility jumpsuit, clean but plain, with soft-soled white sneakers and a neatly tied bun. A slim black folder was tucked under one arm. There were no heels, no diamond earrings, no designer handbag. Just confidence, quiet, unshakable confidence. She paused for a second, letting the cool air wash over her, then walked purposefully toward the SUV section. As she passed by the reception desk, the young woman working there glanced up but didn't offer a greeting. Danielle gave a soft nod. No response. She didn't mind. She wasn't here to be recognized. She was here to observe. She stopped by a sleek, black Range Rover parked on the floor. Her fingers traced the edge of the side mirror gently, as if greeting an old friend. The car gleamed, spotless. She smiled faintly, as if reminiscing. But before she could take a breath, a voice cut through the calm. She turned. A man in a fitted grey blazer, Bluetooth headset wrapped around his ear, stood staring at her. His name tag read, Grant Sullivan, Sales Manager. There was no smile on his face, just irritation. I'm going to have to ask you not to touch the vehicles unless you're working with a rep. Danielle nodded slightly. Of course, I was just admiring it. He looked her up and down, then smirked. Finance is down the hallway, but they'll need to run a credit check before you sit in anything. Danielle raised an eyebrow. I'm not looking to buy today. His tone sharpened. Then what are you doing here? She answered calmly. I'd like to speak to the owner. That was it. The moment. He chuckled, loud enough for a couple of other salesmen to hear nearby. Right, the owner doesn't take walk-ins, and definitely not from people who can't state a clear reason for being here. Danielle held his gaze. Is that how you speak to every potential client? He rolled his eyes. No offense, but this dealership caters to a certain kind of clientele. And what kind is that? She asked softly. Grant ignored the question. Look, I'm really going to need you to leave. You're distracting my staff. Danielle gave one last glance around. Not a single employee had offered her help. Not even a brochure. She nodded. Very well. My name is Danielle Harris. Just let your team know I stopped by. Grant scoffed. Sure thing. As she turned to walk away, one of the junior staff whispered, That was kind of cold, wasn't it? Grant shrugged. We don't have time to waste on browsers. If you're not here to buy or work, you don't belong on my floor. What they didn't know. 2 miles away, on the 21st floor of a glass high-rise, the corporate offices of Harris Ventures buzzed with movement. Inside, Danielle's team was preparing for a major announcement, one that would shake the very floor Grant Sullivan stood on. Danielle was not a stranger in that dealership. She was its new owner. The final paperwork for her firm's acquisition of Northgate Auto Plaza was signed that very morning. Danielle had decided not to enter with bodyguards or suits, no entourage, no hint of her title. Just herself. She wanted to see the truth, how they treated someone without a title or an expensive watch. She believed in testing character the way pressure reveals cracks. If they treat me with kindness when they think I'm nobody, she had told her legal advisor, then they'll have a place in what comes next. If they don't, I'll know exactly who to replace. And now she knew. Back at the office. Planning the return. 2 hours later, Danielle sat at the head of a long table, flanked by her legal counsel and assistant. She was calm, but there was a weight in her silence. Her lawyer slid a folder toward her. "Finalized, all yours." Her assistant leaned in. "Do you want us to set up a formal announcement? Press release?" Danielle shook her head slowly. "Number, we go back. Right now. No announcement. No warnings." The assistant blinked. "Just walk in?" She smiled, just a little. "That's how I came in the first time. Let's see how they handle round two." Outside, her BMW waited, polished, dark, and silent like her resolve. It was nearly 2 p.m. when the black BMW X7 pulled into the lot of Northgate Auto Plaza once again. Out stepped Danielle Harris, this time flanked by 2 suited legal advisors and a third woman holding a tablet, her executive assistant. The air was thick with tension as all 3 walked confidently towards the glass doors. Inside, Grant Sullivan stood chatting with a wealthy-looking couple near a red convertible. His laugh echoed through the showroom until the receptionist hurried over, breathless. "Mr. Grant, someone's here to see you, again." He rolled his eyes, still annoyed from earlier. "Who now?" The woman from this morning. She's back, but she's not alone." He turned to look, and froze. Danielle entered with authority. No smile this time, just calm silence and absolute control. Grant stepped forward, defensive. "Ma'am, I already told you." Her lawyer cut in sharply. "Are you Grant Sullivan, general manager of this location?" Grant blinked. Yes, I am." The lawyer handed him an envelope. "As of today, ownership of Northgate Auto Plaza has officially transferred to Ms. Danielle Harris." Gasps. The receptionist covered her mouth. Danielle pulled off her sunglasses, locking eyes with him. "You told me the owner doesn't deal with walk-ins," she said coldly. Well, today, the owner walked in. The entire showroom fell into stunned silence. Grant's face turned beet red. I didn't know. You didn't look like—" "Didn't look like what?" she interrupted sharply. "A CEO, an owner, someone worth your time." He stuttered. "I thought you were here to apply, or shop, or—" "You thought I didn't belong here," she said firmly. "So you judged me, dismissed me, embarrassed me in front of your entire staff without knowing who I was." Her voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. Her calm was louder than any shout. Employees stood frozen in their places, salesmen, clerks, even the janitor. The wealthy couple who had been talking to Grant slowly backed away, pretending to browse. Danielle's assistant handed her a small tablet. On it was the dealership's surveillance footage from earlier that day, downloaded and time-stamped. She hit play. On the screen, Grant telling her to leave, calling her unbelievable, laughing as she walked out. She turned the tablet toward him. "You know what's more unbelievable?" she said. "That you represent a company you don't even respect." Grant held up his hands. "Please, Ms. Harris, I've been here 12 years. I built this team." "You built a culture of judgment," she replied. 12 years of looking down instead of looking within. He took a shaky breath. "Look, this job is everything to me. I was having a bad day. Don't throw it all away over one mistake." Danielle paused, then nodded. "You're right," she said. Hope flickered in his eyes. "One mistake doesn't define a person, but a pattern does. And from what I saw today, and what your staff confirmed, this wasn't your first." Grant opened his mouth to argue. "You're done here," she said firmly. "Effective immediately." Turning the culture, she turned to the staff. "Let me make this clear. I didn't come here to humiliate anyone. But if you ever treat another customer the way I was treated, no matter who they are or what they wear, you won't last another day here." Eyes widened, heads nodded. No one dared speak. She walked to the receptionist. "What's your name?" Chelsea, you looked like you wanted to step in this morning. I saw it. Chelsea nodded nervously. I wasn't sure if I should. I thought I'd lose my job. Danielle smiled. You didn't. You just earned a promotion. Starting next week, you'll begin management training under corporate. Tears welled in the young woman's eyes. Danielle looked around the room one last time. I came here today not just to test the business, but to test the people. Some failed, but others showed heart. That's what I'm building here, a place where character matters more than cash. She turned to leave, her voice calm but commanding. I walked in as your guest. I leave as your boss. A video of the confrontation, secretly recorded by a junior employee, hit social media that night with the caption, "Manager kicked her out, not knowing she owned the dealership." 12.4 million views in 36 hours. The comments exploded. This is how you handle disrespect, with dignity and power. She fired him with her eyes. Don't ever judge a woman by her sneakers again. Danielle didn't give interviews. She didn't tweet angry posts, but she did update the dealership's mission statement that very week.